Hey there. By now, we've all probably played Wuthering Waves 2.0. And by now, we've all come to the same conclusion. It is great. Everything about it screams excellence. But does everything about Wuthering Waves scream excellent? Well, I'm here to try and talk about that, and hopefully make sense. I'm Lemonade Gang, and welcome back to the channel. I don't have a good intro. And hey, if you went to the trouble of clicking on this video, subscribe. It takes, what, less than 5 seconds? No time out of your day whatsoever. Go ahead. Maybe you'll get some, I don't know, weird kind of satisfaction from subscribing. You'll never know unless you do it. Anyway, back to the video. So, I want to start with the negatives I have about the game first. And you see, this is a hard part, because there aren't that many negatives, if at all. At least with 2.0. There are, like, overall as a game, there are some issues. For example, the tuning system. I think it's garbage. I probably should preface all this. This is just my opinion. None of this is fact. But the tuning system, in my opinion, is really, really garbage. Just, I don't know, just get rid of it. It's not fun. Make it like every other gacha game, more or less, where you level up the echoes, in this case, and you just get the substat. You don't have to level them up of, like, step by step by step by step, then tune, and it's just, ugh. It feels like an extra hassle. It feels like an extra chore in a game that already flows so smoothly. The second negative I have with Wuthering Waves, and this might be an unpopular opinion, again, opinion, the final boss, or at least the overarching villain of Wuthering Waves, which I think she's so bland, so boring. Every time she's on screen, I just have a bad time. Mostly because I hear her voice and she sounds dead inside, which fits the character, but not as a boss. I want a flamboyant, really extravagant sounding boss who's, you can tell they want the end of the world, or they want to rule the world. Not someone who just sounds really bored to be there. Yeah, I don't, you get what I mean, hopefully. If not, I've done a poor job explaining it, and you'll let me know, and you'll call me stupid. So, I look forward to that. My final issue, and probably my biggest issue with Wuthering Waves, and once again 2.0, I felt like I started off saying, oh yeah, here's my negatives for 2.0, and I'm just talking, so this is how hard it is to find a negative with Wuthering Waves 2.0. I'm having to talk about Wuthering Waves as a whole game, not just the patch. That's just how good Renacita was. And that's how good I believe the rest of Renacita is going to be. My final negative is the stamina system. Or in this game, wave plates, waveforms, wave something. Everything costing at least 60 wave plates just feels really bad. And obviously there's like the combat domains. I'm sure the footage is on screen right now, you can see exactly what I mean. They cost 40, which is nice. But I want like the boss materials to cost 30. I genuinely believe Star Rail has the best stamina system. When you farm for materials, you can go 10 to 60 stamina for each wave. The weekly bosses, 30 stamina. And in Star Rail's case, the echo system, 40. It just feels so much better, and everything costing 60. And yes, you can go to the open world, explore, farm echoes. That's fun. But it's also very time consuming, and some people might not be into that, which is fair. At least keep both. So it's like, oh, I've run out of stamina that I've used effectively and efficiently. Now I can go into the open world and explore. Because this game is beautiful, you will want to explore the open world. Those are the negatives. As you can tell, not that many. This game is amazing, which we all probably know by now. And if you don't care about the positives or me glazing Wuthering Waves, and you want to call me a Kurobot and leave, this is your time, because now we're getting to the positives. Obviously, at the start, Wuthering Waves had a really hard time with the presentation. Well, not the presentation of the story, just the story was boring. They presented a really boring story. Great. I was hooked in 1.2 with a Huanglong, even though the story was kind of cliche, generic, and a little bit drawn out. It still looked amazing, which kind of helped me, like, okay, at least I've still got my attention. Renacita, nothing like that. Renacita, oh my god, the story. The story was clean, it was efficient. A little bit cliche at times, but my god, what great cliches to use. Cult, for example, or the Order, which we all know is a cult, let's be real. They're sending people on a quote-unquote pilgrimage to find faith again, and it turns out they're just being shipped off to die. Is it somewhat of a generic plot point? Yes, but my god, every time, at least for me, once again, my opinion, every time I see this kind of plot point, I'm immediately hooked. Because there are real stakes and real people dying. Well, I say real people. There are people in this game dying. There we go. Even the side stories. Take this one scene from Carlotta's companion quest. This is a companion quest. Isn't the main story. This is just a little bit on the side. And the presentation is so... It's minimal, but effective.
Forgive me for not meeting you properly until now. Guest from the Black Shores, laureate of the Carnival, savior and friend of the Montellis. Your presence is an honor. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Capello Montelli, Carlotta's uncle, son of the Padrino, and the next head of the family.
Given Capello's stature, a private meeting at this hour. Is it really just about gratitude?
Without you, the traitors wouldn't have been captured, and I freed from their hands. While Carlotta has expressed our family's gratitude, I feel obliged to do it in person. But unfortunately, the traitors had little to offer, and the one behind them is still in the shadows. Unnerving, isn't it? I'll wait for her findings. Things aren't as bright for the Montellis as they may seem. The Order, Phassalias, and the Fraxidas. Any attempt to break the status quo puts us at risk. The traitors we captured were a warning, but also a reminder to survive. I must seek alliances beyond, especially with you, just as Carlotta did.
I don't know about you, but I was captivated that whole time. It really adds to the air of we are dealing with a somewhat shady family, shady organisation. I'd be a fool not to mention team selection. You can pick any team in this game, whether or not it has synergy or not, and it will work. It is great. In fact, here's a little clip of me just picking 3 random characters and thinking, okay, let's give it a go. They're not even built that properly, and it still somewhat works. And yes, I understand I should level characters up, but as I've talked about with the stamina issue, I can't do that. I want to talk about some of the NPCs in Wuthering Waves 2.0, because these characters feel like they could be more. They could be 4 stars in the game even. The design team have gone out of their way to deliver something really, really spectacular in terms of character design. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The best thing to come out in 2.0. That's right, you've guessed it. Flight. This is an absolute game changer. And I don't mean that it's like, oh, they released a new character. This changes everything. I mean, exploration alone, the entire dynamic has just been shifted. Mostly because, unlike Genshin Impact, they haven't pay-gated quality of life improvements behind characters, and then power creep that quality of life behind a new character who does every single quality of life improvement. Wuthering Waves have just, here is a tool. You can use it for free. Every character can do that. I mean, exploration as a whole in Wuthering Waves just felt completely different. Base game was just unlimited stamina. You could just run for as long as you want. Obviously, spinning up walls, climbing, that uses stamina. Why wouldn't it? You're running up a wall somehow. And the best thing about Flight is we get to see the beautiful landscapes of Renacita from a completely different angle. We don't have to climb up high to a mountain to look down into the faraway distance. We can glide over cathedrals, towns, landscapes even. It's just so beautiful. I think they want you to admire the world they built, and it is worthy of being admired. The only gripe, or negative, I know I said I was done with negatives, but this is really the only negative with Flight, is it's locked to Renacita. The second that goes into the open world, or every other area, no game is ever perfect, except The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, but Wuthering Waves 2.0 feels as close as possible as can be. Yeah, those are my thoughts and feelings towards 2.0 and Wuthering Waves as a whole, I guess. Feel free to disagree, let me know in the comments, or if you agree, let me know in the comments. Basically, just comment. If you like Wuthering Waves, you don't like Wuthering Waves, I don't know, let it be known, I guess. This was meant to be a short video, hopefully it stays that way, we'll see by the video length. Yeah, that's going to be it from me. Check out the free-to-play journey, almost at its end. And with that, that's the end of the video. I will bid you adieu. And, like always, stay refreshing.